Слегка приоткрыли рот. Здесь немножко будет неприятно. Не давим.
What to do?
Не давим.
Did you lose internet? Hit the Windows button. No, you didn't lose internet. I lagged out or something. Yep, this way.
What about
Nothing.
what? Oh, okay.
Чуть-чуть приоткройте рот. Делаем вдох. И открываем челюсть. На меня смотрим. Хорошо. Угу. Закрыли, расслабились.
Looking ahead.
Делаем вдох. На меня смотрим, максимально открываем рот на вдохе. Угу. На меня смотрим и открываем голову вверх. Подтягиваем голову вверх. Тянем, тянем голову вверх. Хорошо. Угу. Ничего не закончим. Чуть-чуть приоткрыли. Не напрягайтесь. Хорошо. Да, это немного неприятная процедура, но она великолепно освобождает все зажавшиеся мышцы на лице.
You're addressed.
Я немного поработаю по костям черепа.
Moo. Moo. Moo.
Be gone.
This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou wilt. Art thou certain?
Работаем с бровями.
This vessel is at thy disposal. Art thou certain? A single mortal soul, tossed as the errant coin. So it shall be.
Fate dost thou require as the Fate dost thou require very well. Choose.
Я попрошу вас сделать вдох, втянуть живот в себя. Выдох. Вдох, живот в себя. Выдох. Вдох, живот в себя.
Why can't I pickpocket this ox?
I don't know.
Отлично. Я слегка умою ваше лицо, и мы сделаем карбокситерапию. Устраним остатки масла. Она слегка будет пощипывать. Кайтесь.
You ever scared?
This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou wilt. Art thou certain? Art thou certain? Thou art the master, so it shall be. This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou wilt. This soul awaits thy command. This vessel is at thy disposal. Do thou art... I don't need any attention right now. Don't mind if I do.
Нужно нанести толстым слоем, чтобы карбокситерапия дала свой положительный.
Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection? Very well. Choose.
Все.
This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou wilt. Art thou certain?
Another stranger come to vex me.
This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou wilt. Art thou certain? Thou art the master, so it shall be.
This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou wilt.
Fate, dost thou require? Very well.
Умеренно щипет. Оставляю вас так на 15 минут, и затем я сниму карбокситерапию. Кирилл, как вы отдохнули? Хорошо. Потихонечку буду снимать с вас маску. Смоем остатки. Кожа прям задышала. Так, лечились у нас немножечко вышло. Отлично. Еще раз высушиваем лицо. И нанесу крем. Крем с СПФ, так что вы будете надежно защищены в этот солнечный день. На сегодня наша процедура закончена. Надеюсь, вам понравилось. Спасибо вам большое, что были с нами. С вами была Жара Зутулаева. И встретимся с вами на новых сюжетах.
What to do?
This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou wilt. This soul remembers its invective, but remembers not its tongue.
Though spoken with a different voice, you recognize the eloquent drawl of Withers, the wraith that summoned the hireling.
They are but echoes. They recall not a manner of speech. Thus, I lent them my rhetoric. To speak thusly takes little of my effort. Besides, what better use is there of time than discourse? Because you needed to speak to it. Because it feels correct. Fitting. These souls clawed their way back from the fugue plane for vengeance. The art of violence is one memory not lost to them, I assure you. Now, let us return to the fray. This vessel is at thy disposal. Art thou certain? Thou art the master. This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou wilt. This soul awaits thy command.
The druids of this
I've got a long road ahead. Fate, dost thou require a new ally? Or may as the
My, what manner of place is this? A path to redemption? Or a road to damnation? Hard to say, for your journey is just beginning. What would suit the occasion? The words to a lullaby, perhaps. The mouse smiled brightly. It outfoxed the cat. Then down came the claw. And that, love, was that. They do know how to write them in Cormier, don't they? Well met, I am Raphael. Very much at your service. It's not every day one meets such a cavalier sinner as yourself. A true, bloody pleasure. I'm rather the admirer of the sanguine arts, even if I wasn't quite born under a killing moon myself. Shall we withdraw? We have much to discuss, to our mutual satisfaction. This quaint little scene is decidedly too middle of nowhere for my tastes. Come. There, middle of somewhere. The House of Hope, where the tired come to rest and the famished come to feed lavishly. Go on, partake, enjoy your supper. After all, it might just be your last.
Ignore him and fill your plate. Alright, I'll be right back.
Not easily rattled, I see. Good. Makes the next part that much more straightforward. What's better than a devil you don't know? A devil you do. Am I a friend? Potentially. An adversary? Conceivably. But a savior? That's for certain. Oh, a mere trifle. How dear is one's soul, really? A rhetorical question, of course, but Let me venture an answer. It's worth very little with a tadpole in your head. One skull, 2 tenants, and no solution in sight. I could fix it all like that. Yes. I like it when my clients put up a fight, only to realize victory was never an option. Try to cure yourself, shop around, beg, borrow, and steal. Exhaust every possibility until none are left. And when hope has been whittled down to the very marrow of despair, that's when you'll come knocking on my door. Hope. Such a tease. Ah, yes, the tongue. Yet another piece of pleasurable anatomy you'll soon have to do without. All those pretty little symptoms, sundering skin, dissolving guts, they haven't manifested yet, have they? One might say you're a paragon of luck. I'll be there when it runs out.
This vessel is at thy disposal. Thou art the master. So it shall be.
This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou wilt. This soul awaits thy command.
This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou... This soul awaits thy command. This vessel is at thy... Art thou sat, a single mortal soul, tossed as the errant coin. So it shall be.
Fate, dost thou require? Very well. Choose.
This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou wilt. Let's get going.
Still breathing, despite everything. This devil, Raphael, flaunts his paltry.
No one back home will ever believe this.
I've got a long road ahead.
Spare me a moment, if you please. I've something important to discuss with you. We've been traveling together for a while. It's rather personal. Now, you see, I have this condition. No, I can. What it comes down to is this. Every so often, I need to get my hands on a powerful magical item and absorb the weave inside. I'll spare you the catastrophe. It's been dead, and by that I mean it's... As luck would have it, you're already primed to give me exactly what I need. Thank you. Oh, a metaphorical demon, I haste to point out, but no less dangerous. And no... Oh, it's not... Sincerely, though. I understand. My late...
Never a dull moment.
It seems you've become quite the exhibitionist without me. I can only... Anyways, I
He's actually mentioning the fact that you're naked.
What?
He actually mentioned the fact that you're naked. Why'd you take your headset off to hear me?
You earned this
Even on here?
iniquitous prize through your great show of exceptional violence the other night.
Well, I know
I'm
usually
sure
I know it's
Master will be
delayed, but
better
usually it's
soon.
not delayed that
A
much.
fellow of your fine breeding is never down for long. I cannot wait until your next act of shameless barbarity.
Hello, husband and wife.
Oh, hello.
Guess who I saw in a toy shop today?
Past triumphs, I cannot. Be true to
Your
yourself.
girlfriend?
A member of the United States Air Force.
Just walking around in uniform?
I I swear to God, yes.
Why?
I don't fucking know. And he wanted, like, he'd asked someone to get him down some fucking Lego from, like, high up. So I strolled over. I got it for him. He wanted the BD... What is it, BD-1? From fucking...
Star
Jedi
Wars.
Fallen Order?
Yeah.
I got it. I said, what did I say? How long you been here? That's it. I swear, how long you been here? And he looked like the most serious look on his face. He goes, not long. Just got
This
here.
vessel
I went,
is at thy
cool.
disposal.
Enjoy the weather. And he just
Do what
smirked.
art thou
He went,
certain?
yep.
A single more.
Yeah, I don't know why the fuck he was in
vessel
uniform.
is at thy disposal. Do what this soul awaits thy command.
A huge dilemma on Baldur's Gate.
What'd you say?
I have a dilemma on Baldur's Gate.
What's your dilemma?
Oh, I'm struggling to get into it with this fucking character because it's not my other character. My other character was better.
Fate.
Well, I'm willing to do another campaign with you. That's the Dark Urge. If you want to do the Dark
Dost
Urge.
thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps...
Or what? Just stick my foot up Jason's ass.
Yep.
I want to know what his problem is, Devon.
He had a problem, basically. Like, you know how he wanders off and stuff? Well, sometimes you'll do the same.
Yeah.
And then he'll get pissed that...
Yeah.
Basically, he feels there's a double standard or there's hypocrisy going on or something, so he just gets mad. I've been playing with him and it's fun. He actually, like, slowly explores everything. It's pretty... It's nice.
I feel like it's not that. I feel like he's not fucking... It's been like this ever since the Space Engineers issue.
I have own Space Engineers?
It was free for a weekend. This is
Oh.
back when we were friends. So like a month ago or two.
That's what he told me. That was basically the gist of it. But what I explained to him was... Well, I didn't disagree with his point or anything. I just explained that sometimes he gets in unpleasant moods. And he'll say... Sometimes the moods are from you, and then sometimes there's just him wanting to complain about his bank account stuff that he doesn't have control over. And I don't think anyone wants to hear that. That's a separate issue, but yeah. If you're trying to talk or something, your mic is busted. Divine Smite. sorcerer.
Alright, what now?
We got a paladin in our party now, Sydney. A man I made myself. But he has no armor. Oh, you want to know about a bug in this game? I don't know if they've patched it yet, but you can get like a crate or something worth. Here, let me look at my screen for a second.
Need anything else?
Yeah, sure. So I forget how exactly, but you it's in barter mode here, and you'll get like this here. You'll get like a box or something worth a very small amount of gold, and then you take everything in his inventory, or maybe it's like this. Can you do that? Or is it like that? No. What the hell? This is just instantly happening. Damn, you sold him a lot of garbage.
Yep, and it gave me a lot of money too.
He just took... Oh, I just lost a bunch of money doing that. Or did I? Oh no, there it is. Whatever, I'm losing 1 gold. Well, I don't know how to work it anymore. But basically you would somehow get all of his inventory into this box, and then buy the box for 1 or 2 gold, and then you would get everything in the box. I don't remember how to do that though. See, it's working. Oh, here, let me do this.
Sylvana. Need anything else? Of course, but please.
Maybe it'll work now.
You're not the only one in
There we go. That's why. Maybe can I do that? Can I do that? Can I do that? Open. Give me all your gold. Give me that. Give me all your scrolls. That. Give me that. I want that. Use that. I could use that. That's some good armor. Give me them gloves. I'll take those. Give me that. 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 Give me that.
Buddy, what? That's it. I am moving.
What happened? Where? Oh, I see. No, they patched it.
Can you take the child lock off the front door and put it on that shelf? Ate like 2 of my earrings. It's pretty destroyed. He was eating.
So you didn't swallow?
Not whole.
Or did you swallow metal? There's a specific way you have to do this. I didn't do it right. No. Fuck it. I don't want to bother with it. I could look it up how to do it again, but I don't want to. I could be super rich.
Need anything else? Of course. But please, remember, you're not the only one in need.
I can't afford anything.
Says I need to talk to this guy, but
Sylvanus be with you.
he's not.
He's all with you.
Or does she need to be with me?
Yep.
Fuck.
Yes. Darling, I'm hurt. I guess I'll spend my evenings lounging here. Well.
He wants to eat magical items already?
Kill?
It is done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave him one.
Well, everyone's talking about it.
Jammed its blade through Yul's belly. Straight to the other side.
No twisting. Kin must have been in a hurry. The map. Show me. Up. You can keep your innards. Your kind proves compliant. A useful trait. cockroaches are survivors. Yet I do not congratulate them. The tiefling was clear. If there are Githyanki west of here, that must be our objective. Purification cannot wait. Perhaps. You will educate me on matters of this Fey run. The Kresh holds the Zaithisk. By covenant, I can say no more.
Chuk. You believe you can survive without me? As you say, do...
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou wilt. Thou art the master. So it shall be.
So, where do we find Helson?
You want me to spoil it for you?
I mean, I kinda
I'm
want to
listening.
do the gross stuff, but
Go ahead. I'm listening.
yeah, kinda.
He's in the goblin camp.
Damn it.
Think as long I can assure you, the battlefield would extend your end. I do not yet need to consume it.
How come I didn't see him in the goblin camp last time?
You didn't go to where he was. Or I think you did after the fact.
Oh, after the fact when everyone was gone?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
No helping it. We're exposed now.
Do you want to go to the goblin camp?
Sure. What the hell? Oh.
What?
I deleted one of my weapons technically, so don't worry about it.
Oof.
If we're gonna shower, it's gonna be in like 15 minutes.
Look it, Claw. Unless you got another. Over.
Entry team to talk. There's a down suspect here.
Talk to entry team. Copy that, entry team. Notifying morgue.
So, the tadpole allows us to influence others.
Entry team to talk. We've got a wounded civilian.
I'm certainly not one to turn down a gift freely given. Bad manners.
This is my pet octopus named Sashimi. And this is a vault filled with all her favorite food. The only problem is, in order to get to this vault, she'll have to rely on her incredible intelligence and dexterity to make it all the way through this 9-part underwater obstacle course. And just like when I made my backyard obstacle course for squirrels, out of the gate, I will admit in hindsight, I completely underestimated the capabilities of this remarkable creature. To understand how I ended up with this
Hear my voice. Obey my command.
The voice is irresistible. You recognize the overwhelming authority that you've used on others, only infinitely stronger, and turned against you. Your vision clouds, leaving you in a dark, featureless shadowscape. Nothingness in every direction. Then there are 3 figures before you. An armored male elf, exuding power and command. A handsome younger man with a quick, easy smile. And a pale young woman with even paler eyes.
These are my chosen. They speak for me. Aid their search for the prison, and you will be worthy to stand beside them in my presence.
You feel energy pulsing from the artifact, lifting the pain from you, pushing the voice away.
My power grows. My forces gather. The reckoning draws near.
I imagine you must have questions. We should talk. You're lucky I managed to catch up with you when I did. We're both lucky, in fact. Hear me out. Your life depends on it. We've both got the same problem, though only I might have the solution. I don't know how, but this artifact is protecting me from whoever controls our parasites. You won't get much farther without it shielding you. Trust me. You need me at your side. The artifact is being hunted, and so I'm being hunted. The Absolute Forces want it, Githyanki Raiders want it. I can't afford to get rid of it, but I can't protect it alone either. I'm lucky to have made it this far. Never mind how I got it, just be glad I have it. For now, let's just help each other. What do you say? No. The artifact stays with me. And I'll do whatever's necessary to protect it, if I can't make you see reason. There's no chances without me. Only certain death. I'll wait here until you come to your senses. For both our sakes, I hope.
All's well that ends. Not as well as it could have. Sounds like they've captured themselves a bar.
They fill the front row with fragulous crown and with scepter abraid. Draw Rexlin, short work of the innkeeper made. The inn burnt to ash.
Captives were many. Back in time 6 months,
Goblet kind
had
had
a pet octopus
reduced them to
if they were really as smart as
penny.
people say they are. And after bringing her home to Crunch Labs and putting her into a saltwater optimized and appropriately decorated tank, she made herself right at home. The first thing that stood out is just how curious they are. For example, when you put anything into the tank, including their arm, they immediately swim towards it and just latch it in. And we'll cover this in a minute, but you'll just be able to really securely latch onto things like my hand. She's so strong! Oh my God! The suckers are also gathering information about me, like my smell, taste, and color. And so after just a few weeks, given how playful she is, it's hard not to form a pretty bond. For example, she loved to go up and wave her tentacles in the jet stream, which I assume is the octopus
My condition is worsening again.
Its head out of color.
I need to consume some powerful magic or it may become volatile.
Selfies anytime she saw a camera, and whenever we'd put a toy submersible in her tank,
perhaps I'm not conveying the urgency of the situation.
And as I did more
it's
research,
incredibly, world-shatteringly important you give me a suitable artifact. I said you don't quite appreciate.
All are born and originally raised in the ocean, meaning they aren't bred in captivity, which is when I was.
Do you have a garbage magical artifact to give to Daryl?
Didn't I?
You need another one?
Yeah.
Fuck, I did some investigating and found out from the pet store we got her from the exact spot they pulled.
If you don't give it to him, he just leaves eventually.
Yeah, dancing lights. I feel like I'm gonna need in Act 2.
Dancing lights? You mean for staving off the darkness?
Yeah.
You could just cast light on yourself. Dancing lights is stationary, it doesn't move.
For starters, their ability to color and shape.
It's also 65 gold.
For example, can you spot the octopus?
Wait.
Right here.
I guess. Fuck, that's 90 gold. Fuck, take the fucking locket.
And it's not just camouflage as a form of protection. They can also mimic the shape of larger, more predatory animals like eels. And as Sashimi shows here, and you can see
that is
here,
most gratifying to hear.
creative ways to scoop themselves around. And on top of that, there's stories from octopus researchers where they will recognize and shoot water at only one specific person anytime they walk by the tank. And they'll still recognize that person even if they switch clothes with other people. Or there's other stories where the octopus will repeatedly shoot water jets at the light switch, turn off the lights in the room. It's also not uncommon for them to escape their tanks at night to better map out the room they're being stored in, or to even raid the other tanks for food, only to return to their tank in the morning like nothing ever happened. And after a month or two of observation, once we had really come to understand each other, we had all the data we needed to enter phase 2.
The magic isn't having the effect it should.
CAD, 3D printing, and laser cutting, we eventually landed here, starting at the conclusion of the 9-part obstacle course with the Golden Vault. If she can figure out how to unscrew the vault door, well then she's earned the 3 pounds of her favorite food, shrimp, contained therein. And the reason we know it's her favorite food is because over the course of a week, we prepared an underwater seafood buffet with 4 different food options. And all 4 times we repeated the experiment, the aroma from the shrimp was consistently the most irresistible. But in order to earn that succulent reward, she's got her work cut out for her, starting back at the beginning with challenge number 1, the over-under. If she finds a way to get under this barrier through these rocks, well then she's got to find a way to get over this barrier through these 4 the vault. And if she manages that, then it's through the green circular portal where she'll find herself face to face with this 4-panel revolving door. And if she works out how revolving doors work and makes it through the next green portal, well then Sashimi will basically be met by a wall. And at this point it's game over, unless she correctly deduces that by pushing this block out, she can pass through the corridor and continue her journey upwards to the vault. And this is where things level up a notch, because dexterity becomes much more critical. In this case, she has to grab this lever and rotate it in this slot, which will allow it to fall down with the balls trailing behind, clearing up the pathway upwards through the tube. But then once she swims up the tube, she'll be trapped, because the portal out is blocked by this red gate. That is unless she figures out how to hit the exit button, which will push this glass counterweight ball down off the edge, thereby pulling the gate up and allowing entry into perhaps my favorite obstacle, the fish out of water. Because here, the only way for Sashimi to continue her progress would be to flex her ability to comfortably live on land for up to an hour by crawling out of the water, up, over, and back down on the other side. Where after passing through the portal, she gets a bit of a power up, because on the backside of the snorkeling fat Gus is a shrimp. Now this is a bit of a throwback to the tourist trap on the squirrel maze, where a strategically placed snack led to a timely photo op. But in this case, I call it the Medusa, because the hope is that as she eats the shrimp with her beak on the underside of where her legs all come together, it will look like Fat Gus has 8 grades of beautiful
I guarantee the story of your daring rescue of my person will live on for eons.
With the penultimate challenge, which is sort of a double obstacle, because there are 6 holes in the top, ranging from small to really small. And if she takes the easy route by squeezing through the least small hole, well then she has a lot more maze to deal with, as opposed to the smallest hole that puts her right at the finish. Either way, at this point, she's made it here, and if she solves the final puzzle by unscrewing the vault door, she's not only earned the all-you-can-eat seafood buffet, but she's proven she's quick enough on her tentacles to handle being returned back to her ocean home
for our
very
friend
tight
smashing.
rules she was raised.
I'll
So with everything in place, all that was left to do was open
The
this ball.
pain you
And as the smell of
suffer
fresh
will
shrimp made its way
cleanse
to her
you.
tank, she
Do
made her way
not
down
fight
the tube
it.
like an 8-legged gladiator to her saltwater coliseum. So while we wait for her to make that 40-second trek, this is the perfect time to mention that if you want a Christmas morning reaction like this, or this, or this, then a Crunch Lab's Build Box subscription is the answer, because with the Build Box, not only do you get a super fun toy that you get to put together every month, but you do it alongside me while I teach you all the incredible physics behind how it works. We're right there in the trenches, building, learning, and succeeding together, so the principles really sink in.
It works!
So if you're a kid and you're looking for something to put at the top of your Christmas list, or you're just looking to be the household hero by giving it to someone else, use the link in the video description or head to crunchlabs.com, where we're giving away 2 free boxes as our holiday special. Now back to Sashimi. After making it into the main tank, then sort of exploring the borders of the maze for a bit, she made her way inside fairly quickly, but then sort of still, like she really didn't understand what she was supposed to do next.
You
But since
want
you can only
more?
ignore the ambrosial smell
give it to
of
you.
raw fresh shrimp for so
It was a
long,
fine
she eventually got
strike.
curious and started
Excellent
exploring.
form.
And one of the first things we observed is that anytime she's in a new environment, she kind of maps things out by walking around, gathering data with her arms, as opposed to just swimming around free through the middle. And soon enough, she had
Welcome the
things figured
pain.
out. Now, admittedly,
Let
this
it
first shot
become
was a bit of a
part of
softball, because having observed Sashimi in her home tank, I knew she was good at digging and burrowing herself in the sand, using the water propulsion from her siphon tube to clear the rocks away. The floating balls were even less of a challenge for her, and after making it through, you really get a sense of how much she sends out her arms as scouts to gather critical information. Especially in the wild, they can reach their arms around and inside crevices, not only to smell and taste, but as we'll cover in a minute, even see and independently think. So obstacle 1 was pretty straightforward, but figuring out how to operate a revolving door would be a much harder test.
Loviata herself found your performance
I see how this is gonna be. This was my first real indicator that we were headed for a real battle of wits. It was a similar feeling to when the squirrels eventually outsmarted my rope bridge of instability by just jumping over it altogether. And I really should have seen this coming, because as you can see in this video of an octopus escaping from a ship, as long as an opening is bigger than their beak, which is the only actual hard part of their body, then they can eventually squeeze through it. In fact, roll that back, you can see Sashimi's beak or mouth right here. And while this part looks like a big nose, that's actually their main body where all their vital organs reside, like their brain, stomach, gills, kidneys, ink sac, siphon, and their 3 hearts. 2 other cool facts about octopi is their blood is blue because it's copper-based, since that's more efficient in cold, low-oxygen environments. And if they lose an arm, they can regrow it completely, and it will look indistinguishable from the original. Next up was the block foot. Once again, she got to this point and was sort of stumped without an obvious path forward. But this is where their natural curiosity pays off, because she's not just feeling
but I do
surfaces with
like
her
a good
arms,
den
but
of
also
debauchery.
constantly pulling and pushing to see what she can interact with. And so sort of by default, she figured out this red part of the wall doesn't push back as hard, which cleared the way up to the Baldur. And I knew this one would be tough for her because number 1, there's not enough room for her to just squeeze by, and number 2, pushing and pulling on walls wasn't gonna solve it either. And after struggling in vain to find out what she was supposed to do for quite some time, eventually she got frustrated and just
I could give you
stopped and
peace,
sat
you
there,
know.
almost like she was processing
But
all the
no,
data she just gathered.
you
And this
gotta
was the
keep
moment I knew for
silent, don't
sure
you?
I was in over my head.
Well,
Because while
hey, Flick.
basically maintaining eye contact with me as a flex, she reaches up with one arm and then twists the
ready
ball
to see your friend, Livia?
ball,
Come
allowing
and
her
join
to clear
him
them
if you
out
like.
and move on. And this feels like
The
the
mark
perfect moment to
glows,
tell you that my
but you feel
absolute favorite
nothing in
fact about the
response.
octopus is that they
Your
are truly the
limited
closest
power
thing we
is
have
beyond
to
reach
intelligent
until you
alien life
rest.
on this planet. And here's what I mean by that. This is a very simplified version of a tree of life. These kind of
The man
diagrams
on
show you
it's
how
a bit
all life is
short,
related and
though.
what evolved from what.
Don't
How do we
you
know
think he
this?
could
Well,
be
by being
longer?
true scientific detectives
And
and
get
looking for
stuck in
clues.
here
For
with his
example,
mates,
a few hundred
looking
years
for
ago,
some
scientists
forgotten
noticed that
thing.
us humans have
Said they
7
ran to
vertebrae
some
in our
kind
necks,
of
but so do
grove.
giraffes.
He
But wait a
doesn't want to
sec,
tell us
so do
where it
whales,
is,
mice,
but he
elephants,
can't
lions,
resist
horses,
forever.
and bats. So that's a clue they all share a common ancestor and belong to this group called mammals. And it's not just that.
Bloodthirsty, ain't
Watch
ya?
what happens if you compare the arm
Go
bone
on in.
configurations
Make
of a
him
human to a
scream.
bat to a chicken to a turtle to a dolphin. It's wild
Face
what
the
tiny
prisoner.
beneficial mutations
Consider
and
the
millions of
implements
generations can
provided.
produce. And of course, with genome
Then-
sequencing developing over the last 40 years, it's allowed us to compare the DNA of different species and sort of check our answers in the back of the book. Anyways, using these techniques, if you want to see where our lineage broke off from that of octopi in the Tree of Life, you have to go back over 500 million years ago to a simple flatworm. But if you look closely, all of what we think of as the smart animals are over here on this side of the Tree of Life, including dolphins, dogs, pigs, horses, humans, but even birds, dinosaurs, and fish. And their intelligence and way of thinking are all related to each other, sort of like those arm bones I showed. But
Please,
octopi developed
stop.
their intelligence
Now
completely
you go.
independently from everything
Being
over
soft
here, like an
ain't
alien
gonna
from
make
another
him
planet.
talk.
And that's why they're built just so differently from us. For
don't
example, they have
know
twice as
why,
many neurons as a
but you
cat.
are
But unlike all
really
the
good
animals
at
over
this.
here where all the neurons are focused in the brain, in
You
octopi
never want
only
this
1/3 of their
perfect
neurons are in the
moment to
brain,
come
and
to
the
an
rest are
end.
in their arms, which means they not only smell and taste, but they can even think and act independently with their arms. That means that even if their arm is cut off, the arm can still camouflage itself to the surroundings by sensing light. It would be like closing your eyes, walking into a room, touching a wall,
The
and
prisoner
having your
smiles
hand
through the
match the
pain,
color. Having
then
8
spits in
independent
your
mini brains
direction.
along with a larger central brain is as
Burn in every
incomprehensible
hell.
as alien intelligence.
And he was
Now
just
back to the
about
maze,
it.
Jimmy had made it to the emergency button, putting her at the halfway mark. And as usual, she starts by having her arms do all the recon. And it's almost like once she feels the red door, she figures out my trick and then immediately pushes the button to drop the ball and open the gate to move on to my favorite obstacle, the fish out of water. And I was relieved to see that I had thrown her another curveball, because after quite a bit of exploratory arm expeditions, she realizes the only way forward is up and out. And so after psyching herself up, she just goes for it. It's like up, over, and eventually. And this demonstrates another octopus superpower, because they can survive out of water for up to an hour. And as you can see here, it's one of the reasons they're such successful hunters in and around tide pools. And now that we're coming down the final stretch, I figured she deserved a bit of a snack break with the Medusa. And just like I'd hoped, once she saw the shrimp attached to the back, she starts chomping down with her beak. And since that's right at the center of all her legs, we get a couple different hair options for Fat Gus. Starting first with a more free-flowing sandy blonde option, which eventually morphed into more of a dark hair. Now the reason she's able to change her appearance so drastically is because all octopi have 4 tricks up their sleeve.
your
First,
arm
their skin is
so I
covered in
can
tiny
mark
little
your
sacs called
flesh.
chromatophores, filled with either black,
Shows
red,
our
or yellow pigment.
devotion
And then they
to
use
the
their muscles to
absolute.
stretch those sacs like a
These
balloon to
maggots.
achieve
See,
any
you
combination of
ready?
those three colors.
Brace
Then
yourself.
you've got a layer
This'll
below that called
sting.
iridophores that bounce back specific wavelengths of light, giving those iridescent blues like peacocks or beetles. Then there's even one more layer that reflects back ambient light called lucifores. On top of all that, they can also use a
Hold
muscular
still.
structure called papillae to change the texture of their skin, creating ridges and bumps. And because they can change any of those in as little as 200 milliseconds, which is literally less than the blink of an eye, it makes them the true masters of disguise in the kingdom. Now she was on to rings, and you can see she opted for the largest hole, which of course means she had the maximum amount of ahead of her. And I love this because it's sort of classic sashimi at this point. But you can see she's willing to play along for quite a while and make just about every possible wrong turn along the way, but then eventually she's over it and just cuts right to the end. And while that's technically not a bad cue, I took the high road and let it slide, which brought her to the Golden Vault. After a month or so of turning on all the obstacles, she had finally done it. With the light on her side, she went straight for the door, ripped it off the foundation, and then immediately basked in the sweet, delicious taste of a hard-earned victory
feel you
in the
in
largest
there,
stockpile of shrimp
digging
she knows.
around.
And after letting her
Works
gorge for a
both
bit, it was
ways.
time for me to
And
uphold
I
my
saw
end of the
some
deal and give her
weird
the Finding
shadows
Nemo
swimming
happy ending
around
she
in your head
deserved by
just
driving her
now.
8 hours down the
Maybe
coast
I
back
can
to the
help with
exact
that.
beach where
Us
she was
true
raised.
souls
Having
gotta
figured
look
out
out
and
for
remembered
one
the
another.
solutions to all my dumb puzzles, I was convinced she could certainly figure out and remember what it was like to hunt for her own food in the open ocean. And this was a bittersweet moment because there's one octopus fact I haven't mentioned,
With the
and that's that their
absolute
entire
will.
lifespan is only
Let's
about
deal
1.5
with this in my
years.
chapel.
And as a
It's
final act,
private.
after laying her
Don't
eggs,
want
a
this
female
lot
will
interfering
continually
with
watch
true
over and
soul
protect
business.
them to the point that she stops eating and dies.
Hmm.
Which meant in the exact same coves and tide pools that her mother did for her, soon sashimi would be extending that ever-changing tree of life by one more generation. Only perhaps this time creating a new branch of super intelligent puzzle-solving offspring. With everything you know about sashimi at this point, it should come as no surprise she also has incredible taste in toys. But what should also hopefully not surprise you after watching the videos I've been making on YouTube for 12 years is that learning science and engineering doesn't have to be sucky and boring. Which is
Ready to
exactly
clear your
why I
head.
started a toy company called Crunch Labs
Don't
with the
wanna
express
cry to
goal of helping
gawpers.
kids think like an engineer
Everybody
through
else
monthly
needs to
toys that get
leave.
delivered to your door where you put it together with me. And having already shipped millions of these boxes, the data is in. 87% of kids rated an 8 out of 10 on a fun scale out of 10, but here's the juicy secret. More than 3 out of 4 parents said their child gained a new
Ready
passion
to clear
around
your
STEM and
head.
engineering from the boxes.
Smart.
Our secret sauce
All
here,
you
just
need
like
to
on my
do
videos,
is
is hiding the
yourself
vegetables so
to the
everyone leaves
absolute.
feeling stoked about the
And
outcome.
I'll do the
On top of that,
rest.
each month your box has a chance to obtain the platinum.
Creep across your mind like a pickpocket's fingers seeking flaws in fabric. Sifting deeper, she sees the mind flayer holding a wriggling tadpole to your eye. And then the vision lurches, and you are looking through her eyes as a tadpole squirms into her skull.
Hells! We need to fish that thing out before it eats any important parts of your brain. No. It's messing with your brain. You're seeing things, probably hearing voices too, yeah? Don't you worry. I've got everything I need to fix you. Might get a bit messy, though. It involves you putting your trust in the absolute. Simple. You won't regret this. Being a true soul, you know the absolute don't like to touch nothing unclean. So drink this. It'll purify ya.
You recognize telltale flecks of werejackal blood. It's a potion of sleep.
I ain't deceiving nobody. I'm trying to.
As an elf, you can't be put to sleep. Elves don't sleep, so I drank it and nothing happened.
Sweet dreams. I'll see your ugly mug on the other side. Wakey, wakey. Don't bother struggling. You ain't going nowhere. The Absolute wants to know all about that critter in your head. So start talking. I know that much. I saw the whole horrible story in your memories. And I know what happens next. Your teeth fall out, your skin rips off, and you turn into one of them. Lies! I'm stronger than ever, and I've got the Absolute on my side. But you're on your own. Nothing more than you're gonna be my new pet. A ferocious squiddy, all for myself.
You test the weight of the chains, looking for weak points.
Exact opposite of what you need.
Your muscles burn with the effort, but the chains hold strong.
Oh no.
Big mama.
Oh, maybe I should have done that one first. Oh shit.
A sharp pain shoots through your arm as the bone pops out of place. The chains hold tight.
Where are you?
Assuming in the dungeon somewhere.
Open your papers, freak. It's time. You should be sprouting tentacles by now. But you're still the same kind of ugly you always was. Disappointing not to have my own squiddy. But your giblets will make for a tasty supper.
Who the fuck is...
I have no idea what
Oh! I know who she is, never mind.
Sorry. I may
This
have
is
left that a little
interesting.
late.
Spoiled.
No lasting damage, I hope.
I'm not. It's just I saw her in Act 3, so it's really weird seeing her in Act 1.
That's kind of a spoiler.
Corilla Heartflame.
I'd just say, I guess you can see her in multiple places.
You made quite an impression on my master. He sends his regards. The Honorable Raphael. He's terribly excited about you and your At this point, you're more interesting alive than dead. So here I am, your savior in times of need. Be a little more careful. That skin's valuable, and we won't always be watching.
I wonder what happens if that happens before you meet Raphael.
Well, I have no idea. No idea. Ooh, I gotta take all this chick shit. Hell yeah. Update, rescue the druid Haslan. So, wait.
It's time to get off, Sydney.
Alright, let me save.